Good morning to all. We are here. Good morning. Another edition, you guys, of Wake and Pack. And we about to get the packing right now. Damn, these shit dense as hell, bro. Anyway, give me some. All right, so yeah, I'm sure everybody got the, breaking news of sorts. Joe Barry is no longer with the Packers, man. Joe Barry has been relieved of his duties as the Packers defensive coordinator. Okay. So but the first thing I would like to do is say thank you to Joe Barry. We are a world-class organization. Anybody who ever gets to coach or play for this team should really appreciate it. And we appreciate them too. So we like to thank Joe Barry for all his contributions, for all his good game plans, and but it was just time to make a move. So and then again, we gonna do it with class and thank him on the way out and wish him the best wherever he goes and do, or wherever he goes and does. I'm not sure. I do not think that somebody will pick him up this soon as their defensive coordinator. Maybe he can go back to be a linebackers coach, or hey, again, there's always a sucker, right? There's always a sucker, so he might be hired next week. We did hire the 0-16 coach, but again, shout out and kudos to Matt LaFleur too for being a man. It's hard firing anybody, like I said, or at least to me it is. And when it's your friend, it makes it a lot more. It makes things difficult. Unless you know how to separate business from friendship, which some people do, some people don't. There's certain family members that I have that I would never do business with again because I done did some shit with them and it was supposed to go this way, but they think just because you're my auntie, just because you're my cousin, that I'm not going to expect what I would expect from a nigga off the streets. Like, nah, this is the way it was supposed to be. This is the way it's supposed to be cut up and divided up. And you just think because you my auntie or whatever that things is different. No, and again, it's not a show friends, it's show business. So kudos to Matt LaFleur for doing it in a timely manner, because this is a time. Like I mentioned with the incompetence of Dallas and Chicago, two of the teams that we own. We own Illinois. You already know that. And we own Dallas. We already know that. But they do. Normally we zig when they zag, right? So that's what the Packers just did. They could have kept Barry, because, they could just look at it at a logical sense and the blame pie and all that, which a lot of you guys never like to do. I am not taking away any of the bad that Joe Barry did for us, but I'm just saying if the nigga did one thing good out of 10 bad things, like I'm going to talk about the 10 or 9 bad things, but I'm also going to talk about the good things. That's just who I am. I give motherfucking credit when it's due. I don't like blanket statements, like, oh, it's the worst ever, stuff like that, because it really wasn't, and doing that don't make it any better, So like I said, as a fan of the franchise, and representative of the franchise, I feel that, anyway, I'm rambling. Let me take a hit. But yeah, I feel that Matt did a good job by number one, doing what he had to do to fire him because, over the 3 years, yes, he deserves to go. Now, when y'all see me pick and choose certain games and certain situations where motherfuckers want to blame him and it ain't his fault, and I'm just saying, no, this, that, and the third happened in this game. It wasn't his fault. Now, I was just defending that game, that situation. But as overall, as a Packer fan, over the 3 years we've had him, absolutely it's time to move on. And now we got to figure it out. And then again, y'all motherfuckers out there, be careful what you wish for. There is a quite possibility. Again, y'all know I'm not hoping for this. Anybody with the G on their helmet, or in this case on the side of your headset or whatever, I'm going to root for you. I'll be constructive with criticism, but I'm not going to ask for your job to be gone because, again, that ain't my decision anyway. So, one thing I was told early in my days, RP to grandpa's like, if it's something that you can't do nothing about, you really shouldn't get mad about it. You could be upset a little, but like, if you have no control over something, then don't get mad at it. Can't cry over spilled milk, and if you do, it's just like, get over it. It's on the ground. What you gonna do? Slurp it back up? You gonna get a straw? You gonna drink it? You gonna mop the milk up and wring it in the mop bucket and drink the milk? Like, nah, you ain't gonna cry over the spilled milk or nothing like that. So anyway, let me get into y'all, man. We might be a little crooked. Hold up. I ain't telling me it was crooked. Shout out to my boy Ernie Martinez, man. What's up? Yeah, I mean, look, it's a good I would say it's a good day for Packer fans, man. A big day for us. We are moving forward, and I think what we seen was what this offense could potentially be next year. And the defense just didn't match to it. Like, we need to take this defense to the next level, because it is almost a guarantee that this offense, barring something catastrophic, is like, this offense with the weapons we have, it's going to be tough to fuck with us. Shout out to my boy John Boehner, man. Hey, everybody hit that like button for your boy, man. Let's run it up. I agree with you on that. But we gonna do it in our own way. We can learn from it. We can, I don't want to be like them anyway. We are kind of like a version of their offense, and I just don't. I want to cut all kind of ties with the Niners, man. I don't fuck with them right now. You already know how I feel after we lose to a certain team in the playoffs. I don't fuck with them for a year, 2 years, however long it take for me to not be mad anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't fucking with nothing that the Niners got to do. Fuck that. Hey, the standard is, the standard, they got to win a Super Bowl, bro. We won 2 Super Bowls since they won their last one, bro. So, I don't know what the standard is over there. Who should be hired? That is a long list. If you are asking me, as much as I would want a young upstart, up-and-coming defensive coordinator, I just think we need a guy who's been there, done that, seen that, and who's ready to go, man. We don't have no time to be. And then again, there's always going to be a process to this. We got to wait on the defense now, so expect early next year already, y'all. Again, we got the same players. It's just about them picking up the scheme, whatever the fuck we do. It might be, you got to think it's something similar to what we've been running. So again, we might get somebody from that tree, from the same tree, the same kind of Joe Barry dealings, Yeah, that's cool. But still, still, even on defense, they ain't won shit. They ain't did shit. They haven't won nothing, Yeah, definitely. The Ravens, Wink Martindale has always been somebody I respected and I like as a coach. He just seems like very personable, especially with the, like the urban players. He like that cool OG white dude. I could tell that he, that the players look at him like that. He's real cool, and I love his enthusiasm. So I would like Wink Martindale. I mean, he's cool. It's a plethora of guys we could get. I'll take a guy like Zimmer. You know what I'm saying? But the reason, and I'm just being selfish as a Packer fan, the reason I'm being selfish as a Packer fan, the reason I don't want a young DC is because what happened when Nathaniel Hackett came? Soon as he was offensive coordinator and we was number 1 in the league on everything, they got, he had gotten the job. I don't want a young DC coming in, doing good for us 1 year and then leaving, getting another job, because Matt LaFleur is going to let him go. So I'm going to be selfish as a Packer fan. I want a guy who is ready to settle in and sit and probably retire somewhere, again, like a Zimmer, a guy who's proven to have top defenses throughout his career. And, sometimes we got to get a little get back to on the Vikings, because what happens anytime we let go of a player or a coach, where do they go? To the NFC North. So it would be cool to snatch up one of their people, although he's no longer with the Vikings, but that's what we know him for. And so yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know who Matt's looking at. That young DC, that's the only problem I have with a young DC. And again, you're gonna have guys who, again, we still young enough as a team, but he got to relate to everybody, and he just got to come in and rule with iron fist, man. You cannot play around with your defense, man, especially on your first year. You cannot come in, be conservative. You cannot. You want people to want to run through a wall for you. You want people to have trust and believe in your playbook. So, I think somebody who we get in there, I think it got to be somebody who LaFleur respects. And obviously it might be a guy older than him. So I'm not sure if we're going to get that young upstart defensive coordinator. And, we don't know who we're going to get. Shout out to Monica. Hey, thank you so much. And likewise to you too. Shout out to Big Nate. Hey, keep your eyes on the road, sir. You know what I'm saying? You got an offender bender not too long ago. Hey, get it together, Nate. Hey, keep your eyes focused on the road. Shout out to Darius Quinn, man. Definitely Packers Nation. Thank you, John. You already know, hit that like button. My boy Blake 22, what's the word? Hell yeah. Definitely. So shout out to Steve. When it comes to Leonard, there's two things. First of all, we asked the motherfucker before. We asked him for a date and he said no. Now things do change, times do change, situations change. At that time, I believe he was an interim coach for Wisconsin. That might have been his dream job in his life or something that he wanted to do. Maybe he wanted to be a long-time Wisconsin coach, take over as an interim and be there for fucking 20 years and become a legend, bigger a legend over there. But it didn't work out. Wisconsin moved in another direction. Now I think I don't know what he's doing right now. He's not a coach. He's being like a consultant or something from somebody. So I don't know. And then I don't know how long he's been gone from the game. But hey, if I like when coaches take a year off. So he did take a year off, I think. And, if we strongly consider him before, I don't know why we wouldn't do it now. So maybe Matt does double back. But I'm asking y'all personally. If you ask a bitch out and she say no, is y'all gonna ask her again 3-4 months later, 2 years later? What you think done changed? But again, you might just strike when the iron is hot. She might have just broke up with her nigga. She might have just, got in an argument with the nigga. So, you never know. Yeah, that he does. He has a kind of he's a linebacker whisperer. All right, we've heard of quarterback whisperers, but this guy does really good with a linebacker. So, I would love to have him in a role like that, but it ain't happening. He's been fired. I would have taken a demotion and just let him handle linebackers because again, just because you could coordinate, don't mean you could be a head coach. But just because you could coach linebackers doesn't mean that you could be a defensive coordinator. Just because you can coach defensive backs don't mean you can be a defensive coordinator. Yeah, it's a good quality to have, and you got to start somewhere and have some kind of expertise. But as far as being a whole defensive coordinator, you need a lot. So, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, House of Red Wine. Shout out to you anyway. If we ain't on a red wine, we on some OJ today, Good old orange juice. But yeah, so yeah, candidates, it's gonna be a lot of them. Young, old, and again, you guys, you gotta think, man. We all human, we have friends, we network. Most people that we pick is people that we worked with before or that we're familiar with. I know y'all don't want to hear about no Brandon Staley, but what did I just say? Just because you're not a good defensive coordinator doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? So Brandon Staley got fired from the Chargers. Hey, head coach, maybe the fuck not. Probably not. Certainly not. But as a defensive coordinator, he can get it done, and he's still a younger mind. But again, people going to look at the stink from his last few years. But to be honest and to be completely 100% real, who the fuck has done something with San Diego or the Los Angeles Chargers over the last, I don't fucking know, 20, 30 years? So, you can't blame, again, you could blame Staley for a lot. Going for it on motherfucking 4th and 1 on the other person's 20 or 30. I've seen them do it. Shit like that, yeah. But just covering the defense and coming up with a scheme on defense, hey, I'll be okay with that. That's a definite, I ain't calling for the man job, but, and then, honestly, too, toward the end of the year, it did get better, House of Red Wine. It did get better. We whooped Dallas ass in the trenches. And we whooped Niners ass in the trenches, believe it or not. Got tired at the end, but we controlled the line of scrimmage, people. Yeah, but we were getting better. Look, we controlled the line of scrimmage, people, that game, bro. If you look at Christian McCaffrey's numbers, it was nothing crazy. He had that one long 38er. If he didn't have that 38er, we would have held him to like 60 yards or something. That ain't crazy, you know? So whoever we do get, they cannot be afraid to play man, because again, when you got the guys to do it, do it. Now, if you don't have the guys, okay, but Jair's one of the best man coverage corners out there. With the emergence of Valentine and with the whole nother offseason, obviously, I ain't gonna say that growth is gonna get stunted because it depends on who we get in here. Is this gonna change the whole defense, or is it gonna be the same philosophy where just a few words are changed? Oh yeah, we still running the Pettin shit, we still running the Joe Barry shit, we still running the Caper shit, It's all the same tree. It's about the players too, y'all. You come up with a motherfucker who just got a whole new playbook. These are professionals, highly trained and paid a lot, but they are also human. There's going to be second guessing. We seen in the first year of Joe Barry coaching, the players just didn't get the scheme yet. It took the players a while on the field to react, as fast as they need to, because they're still thinking. Shout out to my boy Nick, man. Shout out to Nicholas, man. We, you know what we doing. A big day in Packers history, especially under Matt LaFleur. He made a big move, fired his friend, said he had to go. In Vince McMahon's words, "You're fired." But, we like to thank him for his contributions and, couple of defensive clinics, I must say. As much as he did the bend but don't break, there were a few performances that we got to give Joe Barry. San Francisco losing to that team 13-10 at home at Lambeau. Perfect game plan. Just this past, we just seen it against Dallas. Top scoring offense all year long. Quarterback leads the league in touchdowns. Jordan Love, number 2. But, at their house, haven't lost there in 2 years, and we hold them to 7 points in the first half. So, y'all, again, the motherfucker's gone. Y'all got what y'all want. And then again, who knows? Be careful what you ask for, because it is a possibility. I'm not rooting for it, but it is a possibility the next motherfucker coming here is worse. You never know, until you do it. So we're going to see who the fuck we going to get up in there. Definitely Darius. Shout out to Darius Quinn, and that is why this move was made, Darius. I think that for sure Matt LaFleur looked at this team, looked at the direction the team was going. He knows what he has in offense now. See, we was all mad at Matt LaFleur early in the season. Like, man, we scoring 3 points. We can't get a first down. This motherfucker was just trying to figure out the best way to use his players, bro. This is not Madden. It is not plug and play. These are humans we dealing with. Not only do you got to emphasize your scheme to them, like they got to play fast. They still got to catch it's a lot goes into, building a scheme and letting, players get it and letting the players, start to believe in it. You got to have them believe in the scheme. So whoever comes in, like I said, got to rule with an iron fist, and it's on defense. Offense, you could come in kind of like polite and be more surgical, cerebral when it comes to X's and O's. But as a defensive coordinator coming in fresh on your first year, this is defense. This is the NFL. It's a warrior sport. So, like, again, you got to come in and rule with an iron fist. So hopefully these guys are ready to fly around, and hopefully the philosophy changes a little bit, It's again, another thing that I would love to give LaFleur credit for, and I won't give Dallas or Chicago credit for. Any other year, Dallas, Chicago, I would have liked y'all to fire y'all coach because it wasn't working. But I mean, or the opposite, to keep y'all coach, because I think that certain teams need to let things play out, just like we did with Joe Barry. Kudos to Matt LaFleur for exercising every option he had with this guy. He made sure he squeezed the towel as long as he could until all the water was gone, just to see. I'd rather look at every fucking nook and cranny or whatever, turn over every stone just to make sure, like, okay, we done gave you every opportunity. It just didn't work, my brother. And you can't be mad at me. So, I like to thank him for doing that, not firing them mid-season shit like that, just to continue the standard that the Packers have. But yeah, again, I like to give Matt LaFleur credit for doing it now because it's a lot of hot commodities out there, man. As far as coordinators, again, young upstarts, young up-and-comers, and you got guys who've been there, done that, like a Martindale, like a Zimmer, like a, you got guys all over the place, and it's a melting pot right now in the NFL with young DCs, number one, and young black DCs, man. We need a lot more black coaches in the league, man. It's better for the league, man. We grow up whooping their ass. We grow up teaching these and raising young men to be men, and they end up going to the NFL. So we definitely could be a leader of men and lead a whole team. That's already been proven. But there were days where people were saying that we didn't have the mental capacity to even play quarterback. Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, we need consistency. In order to us have consistency, everybody has to buy in. In order for us to have consistency, he has to know what the fuck he's doing and come up with good game plans. So, I cannot wait to see who the fuck we gonna get in here, and hopefully this isn't a rush hire. I mean, again, guys are flying off the board and shit like that, but hopefully we hire 2 or 3 people. Hopefully it just ain't tomorrow. Oh, Packer signed this guy. It's like, damn, how much research did you do into it, Matt LaFleur? But again, what we got to do is trust the organization and trust Matt LaFleur. Yeah, shout out to Big Nate. He's in the motherfucking house. Yeah, again, man, the motherfucker did a lot of bad shit. I'm not gonna say that, it wasn't frustrating and none of that watching the games, you know what I'm saying? And but I'm just saying, give him credit for the shit that he did do, It's just kind of like arguing with with the wife or the girlfriend, whoever. It's like, man, you naming everything I don't do. Well, how about let's name the stuff I do? And would you like to get that from somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying with that. Cool names. The last guy, he was he has ties. Vrabel, I think, he a head coach type, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he won a demotion. He's still young in the game, And Al Harris, the thing about Al Harris, people want to say, oh, get Al Harris. He used to be a Packer. That's cool. A lot of people used to be Packers. Stenavich used to be a Packer. Al Harris also used to be an Eagle. He also used to be a Ram. And he's the current defensive backs coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And Mike McCarthy has him. You think McCarthy going to let him go? And then again, we got to know what we talking about. Al Harris don't even have a playbook. So what are you going to go out there and call? Now, he might have some shit that he want to come up with in the future, or he might not. But he said with his own mouth, he's right now just a defensive backs coach. Like I said, just because you're a good defensive backs coach don't mean that you could, coach a whole defense. Now, I am not putting a limit on anything that Al Harris could do, but he admittedly said he's more into the technique. And you even knew as a player, Charles Woodson said, well, Al Harris, we called our defense, but we just gave him the exact person to guard and said, that's your man, because he didn't quite get it. But when you line up in front of him and it's me versus you, that's how he got his bread. That's how he got his money. We're going to get the ball and we're going to score. That's how he made that play. He didn't make that play like, oh, yeah, I knew it was coming. That was off of just instinct. This is my man. I'm guarding him. And, he jumped the route. Pure instinct. Yeah, happy trails to Joe, man. But again, back to Al Harris. Like, he doesn't even have a playbook, so he ain't quite ready for that. Now, if we want to pull him over, him and Dan Quinn want to pull him over, he can coach our DBs, I would love it. Because I think it's shown, not only with Rasul leaving, also with the OG Jerry Gray, our old defensive backs coach. With him leaving, you can tell it just was a difference in the backs, man. Albeit we weren't healthy all year. But yeah, I would definitely take Al Harris in a role where he can, be a defensive backs coach. But as a whole coordinator, he hasn't proven that he's even, and he even said he's not even there yet with that. So again, it sounds good. He used to play for us and all that, but I don't see him, he's not ready yet. Watch him be hired tomorrow. Well, Nate, one thing we got to do, bro, Michael Jordan is a horrible coach. Best player ever, but horrible coach. Just because a motherfucker was good on the field does not mean that he will be a good coach, or even if he has a passion to be a coach. Do we know if Woodson even wants to coach? Just because he's the Heisman winner, just because he done been the best defensive player ever in the NFL, top 3 to me, you know, best, man, one of the best players ever. You know, I'm so glad that he was in Green Bay, but, you know, Larry Bird, great player, wasn't the best coach, although he did take his team to a finals, I think. But just because you was good on the field don't mean, do he even want to coach? I ain't seen him on the sideline nowhere. You know, if he wants to coach, I guess sure he could come over. But if that's the case, goddamn it, shit, let's get Nick Collins to come be a coach. He used to play for the Packers. Let's get Sam Shields to come coach for the Packers. I don't know if these motherfuckers want to coach. Do they have their resume out there? Have you seen them on the sideline somewhere coaching? I don't know. That's why I want a guy, man. I don't want a young upstart, because you know within 1 or 2 years anyway, y'all know what happens in Green Bay. When Green Bay does good, everybody's like, oh, look what the Packers doing. We need some of that. Couldn't hold Nathaniel Hackett for 2-3 years. They got him, you know? So if we get a young upstart, he come in and kill it for a year, 2 years, albeit, hey, it may be enough a year or 2 years to get us to the Super Bowl. Because I would say that we have a Super Bowl caliber offense. Not right now, but the potential, okay? You know, and even I could kind of say it right now, especially with a new training camp under their belt, another training camp under their belt where they already know what they're good at. It don't stop there when you already know what you're good at. Then you build off of that. So we just now figuring out what these guys are good at. And every exit interview I see, which I like, I don't know if it was said by LaFleur to the whole message for the team, but everybody talked about in one way, shape, or form getting better. Every player. Kenny Clark, oh, just ready to get back to work and get better. Romeo Doubs, just ready to get better. He ain't even talking about his season. Oh, I think I did better this season. I was a factor in the player. He ain't talking about none of that. He said just getting better. A lot of them said getting better. What's the word, Zane? Shit, you already know. We just chilling. You know them notifications be tripping, man. You know, hey, they don't want the real message to get out sometimes. That's why, you know, y'all got to do y'all part and share this shit, like this shit, so this shit go in the algorithm and all that. But shout out to you, bro. You already know what's up. Thank you, Ernie. That's why I was saying, listen, not rooting for it and not saying it, but you never know. You know, you never know, right? Again, you got your little side bitch or whatever, right? Hey, she's just a side girl, man. You know, y'all do what y'all do, whatever. You end up getting caught. Wifey like, fuck you, I'm out. Now you stuck with the side girl. She can't be the whole girl. She was the side girl. And now you're around her a lot more than you ever been. First, it used to be a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Now your ass in her face all day. She farting, you know, she burping and shit. Like now you see in the side like, God damn, I miss my wife. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's gonna happen with Joe Barry. I'm just saying, hey, just respect what he did for us. You ain't got to kick a man on his way out. And let's just do it like grown-ups. Let's do it like a top-tier organization. That's all I'm asking for, is for us to be a top-tier organization and act like it out there. You know, we could go cry in the car all we want. Just don't let nobody see it. But don't get up on here in front of everybody and make us look foolish as a goddamn franchise or as a damn fan base, because I ain't with that. I'm a real one and I'm a Packer fan. I don't like rolling with certain type people. Definitely, I agree with you, House of Red Wine. But like I mentioned to my boy, shout out to Taylor Bell, Packers Kingdom. Go check him out, y'all. I don't want to mirror or even mention nothing of fucking 49ers. I can't stand them right now. But we got our things, and not only should. And then, what would you rather be good at, House of Red Wine? Quarterback is the most important position on the team. You got some, and then not only that, let's not just stop there. Let's give us all our credit. The league should look at how the Packers draft QBs. The league should look at how the Packers draft offensive linemen. The league should look at how the Packers draft wide receivers. Hey, we can't have it all, y'all. Even when Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl with us, it was an opportunistic defense. It wasn't a top 5, maybe in turnovers or something like that. But as far as overall defense, we got gashed in the run like we always do with that team. You know, we were just opportunistic. Nick Collins, Charles Woodson, Tramon Williams, you know, will make that game-changing play or 2 or 3. We were eating, bro. Every highlight had a motherfucking Charles Woodson running across the field. Yeah, we do. It's the list always looks lengthy. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you think you build a relationship with these players and then you start seeing them like, oh, damn, he could go. Well, we might have to keep him. We might have to keep him. So, yeah, that's what makes every year special because, again, this team is not going to be the same team that was there last year. It may be like at least 80% of the people coming back, but there's familiar faces that are going to be gone. Hard decisions are going to be made. So, hey, we don't know about that right now, but guarantee stay tuned, on 420 HPOB Boulevard, and we're going to get that shit figured out. As soon as some shit happen, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on this bitch and we're going to talk about it. I wouldn't say haven't built anything. The thing that hurts so much is that it's 3 sides of the ball, man. So just because it wasn't the defense fault this time in this playoff run, and it was their fault that we won. So let's call a spade. And then even the last time we were in the playoff run, or not run, when San Francisco just came, the last 2 times you can say what you want throughout the regular season. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Ben Badoke break offense. Joe Barry's horrible. But what happens when we make the playoffs? He comes up with some game plans. Hello, I just said earlier in this video, the number 1 offense in the NFL, number 1 quarterback in the NFL, leading touchdown passer in the NFL is who? Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys, haven't lost at home in 2 years. Like, that should have been almost impossible for us to do. And Joe Barry held them to a fucking touchdown in the first half. Get a motherfucker his credit. San Francisco, divisional, 2 years ago. Shanahan, all that shit he had going on in the back. Hey, again, he didn't have Christian McCaffrey, but he had 2-3 niggas at that point. He had a Mostert, excuse me, and a couple other people, y'all. So I said Zimmer, a guy who knows the division, although the division has changed too. But again, it ain't changed that much. I would say a guy like Zimmer, a guy who's been there, done that, and a guy who's probably going to settle down and be here for a couple years. Again, we get that young, jumping, hot upstart. He come and we get a top 5 defense next year. Motherfuckers is going to want to hire him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm predicting a Super Bowl within the next couple years. I said 2025, but now we might be there a little early. Now it depends on how fast this defensive coordinator could get everybody to buy in. Get everybody to understand the whole message and concept of the defense as early and as quick as possible. Week 1, week 2, week 3, we're going to see motherfuckers out there, not knowing what to do. Sometimes it's a brand new defense. That's why, again, we might get somebody in that has certain terminology of the same kind of defense we had, but just probably aggressive at different times, Bro, we should have won that. Bro, we should have won motherfucking Tampa Bay. That bullshit Scotty Miller shit at halftime. Kevin fucking King, bro. Kevin King, bro. You know that. What you think they're going to go under? They going deep. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Yeah, but Zane, people ain't going to want to hear that. And listen, Zane, they got what they wanted now. All these fired Joe Barry people all year, bang. I don't know if it's just because you just needed an scapegoat or, you needed to make yourself feel better. But me saying the motherfucker fired, I mean, it don't do nothing for me. It don't do nothing for me, Motherfucker who done been fired before know how that feel. It ain't cool. Definitely. And it wasn't just that for the longest. We also missed out on field goal. So that is special teams. That has nothing to do with us. I mean, that has nothing to do with the defense. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's as much as people think special teams is less of, one of the greatest coaches ever. Bill Belichick spends a lot of time on special teams during his practices. Attention to detail on all that, because that one block kick, hey, one block punt, hey, you guys could be an equal team. High scoring offense, defense who stops everything. You got to make that third facet of the game mean something. Whether you have a good game breaking returner like we do, okay, or can have a coverage team who lets a motherfucker runs back on them all the time, or you can have a kicker who doesn't make field goals. Special teams within special teams has 3 or 4 things that goes with it. You got punting, you got receiving, you got kicking. It's so much that we got to get a grip on that. We supposed to have a grip on that. We got the guy Bisaccia for the job, so I don't know. Head coach only. I would love him to come over and do that, but head coach only, and he deserves it. When you somewhere for 15 something years, and albeit Seattle ain't been much in like the past 3-4 years, but even the Seattle that we've seen, Geno Smith, like, come on now, making playoffs and shit like that, that's impressive in his own right. So yeah, but I see him as a head coach only, looking like it might be the Chargers. Him and Harbaugh fighting for like the little Charger job over there. Pete Carroll want to come to LA. He been wanting to come back to LA. So, I could see that happening. But yeah, I think he's a head coach only. Shit, Darius, we've been needing to fix our run defense forever, right? Since 1919. But yeah, man. So that's it, man. Joe Barry's out. We're gonna see. Sometimes the grass ain't greener on the other side. Sometimes it is. We're gonna see which direction Matt LaFleur goes into. But let's give him credit, give him kudos for doing it in a timely manner. It does seem like he put some thought into it. It's not one thing that happened the day after the game happened. So, it seemed like it was well thought through. And hopefully the candidates that he has that he's going to interview is well thought through. And this is all we can go for from now. But this could be a thing that catapults us into a championship, level team, so much had to go right in order for Joe Barry to be a championship level team. You got to have special teams. You got to have a high scoring offense. We haven't had all that in conjunction with each other all in one game during the playoffs. We always were missing one. Playoffs game against the Niners, couldn't nobody fucking score. On this one, like my boy said, it was 21-14 for a minute. But even the last one, 10-13, like, couldn't nobody fucking score. That's an offensive thing, The only score given up was a block punt. That's a special teams thing. That has nothing to do with Joe Barry. That man shut the team out. They didn't even score, So I know Matt thought about that. That's why it took him a while, because I know damn well Matt was like, there's been a couple games where I was the one fucking up, and he saved me. He had my back. Savage came to me and said, hey, it's all good, coach, So that is what that is. But there will be a new defensive coordinator in Green Bay, y'all. So, hey, we're going to be back here to talk about certain candidates. We're going to see. I'm sure we'll hear about more and more of guys coming in to visit. But again, what a hot seat this is, too. Not hot seat, but hot commodity of a seat. Like, man, who wouldn't want to come in? You see what the offense is doing. If you're really confident in your play calling as a defensive coordinator and just your scheme, if you look at the pieces that we have, you gotta be happy. You got to be happy about what you come into, and you got to be excited to get more out of these guys. You've seen what they're capable of, but get more out of Rashawn, our new DC. Get more out of fucking Kenny Clark, So I can't wait to see what happens. Yeah, basically, beat on the table long enough, somebody gonna listen. But again, he did it to himself. Very big problem. And that's just the tight ends. We ain't even mention the receivers, bro. And then again, sign me up for Aaron Jones again. I don't give a fuck how you do it. Restructure, do whatever the fuck you need to do, man, to get Aaron Jones back. But yeah, man, we just had to talk about that news, man. Thank you for everybody for motherfucking coming through and hollering at me. Hey, we gonna see, y'all. We gonna see what direction this team gonna go in. So shout out to my boy Darius Quinn, man. Shout out to Goat Mike, man. House of Red Wine. What's up with you, man? Thanks for coming through. Shout out to Big Nate and Monica. Be safe on that road, Big Nate. And Big Nate, you got your wish, bro. You've been calling for Barry gone, so let's hope this is, let's hope this is a good thing. We all hope it does. And I think he did run the course. It's about that time. It's time to make a change there, man. Shout out to my boy Zane Strong, Ernie Martinez. Shout out to my boy Eric Sutherland. My boy Nick came through. Shout out to Nick. Again, if I forgot about you, I didn't forget about you. My boy Steve, Blake 22, John Bainan, Packers Kingdom, of course. Shout out to Taylor Bell, my boy Ernie Martinez. And shout out to my boy Milto too. Shout out to TR. Shout out to everybody, man. But hey, we will know more as the days go by, man. And the off season starts now. It's already time to start figuring out who the DC is. Got the draft coming. Got some important dates coming up. So that's what that is. But hey, y'all go have a good motherfucking day. And I'm out this bitch.